the Natural Sciences, the faculty and staff of the Department of Respiratory Therapy, I would like to welcome you here this evening, and especially on behalf of these wonderful graduates who are here to enjoy this evening with us. At this time, I would ask you to please silence any of your cell phones or other devices so that it doesn't distract from the ceremony. I would ask that anyone that doesn't have a mask on, please do put your mask on. We have to do that for the policy for the university. I'd also like to, at this time, welcome some of our special guests. First, we have Dr. Tara Underwood, Dean of the School of Health and Natural Sciences. We have with us Ms. Beth Brown, retired faculty member for the Department of Respiratory Therapy. We have Mr. Jason Hunter. Jason is a respiratory therapist at Navicent Health and one of our former clinical instructors. I'd also like to, at this time, recognize our faculty for the Department of Respiratory Therapy. Dr. Charles Matson, Ms. Jasmine Brown, our Director of Clinical Education, and Ms. Nancy Geisey. Also, and we are excited to have two of our clinical instructors here with us this evening. We have Ms. Alexis Pope and Ms. Larica Patrick. Finally, I would like to thank our junior class representatives and volunteers who assisted us with seating this evening. We appreciate their time in coming and doing this for us. They're up here on the top. This year's pinning ceremony will be like no other that we've had before. It's one which celebrates the accomplishments of two of our classes, because 2020 proved to be a year like no other. You will hear much, I'm sure, this evening about the challenges of the past year due to COVID-19. To say it has impacted our lives in tremendous and pivotal and long-lasting ways would be an understatement. We can look at how we're seated this evening and see that difference in our lives. But thank goodness we're able to be here face-to-face together to celebrate this momentous time. As healthcare providers, respiratory therapists have been at the center of caring for those who have suffered and also those who have lost the battle to COVID-19. Some of them even losing their lives themselves. At this time, I would like to ask for a moment of silence in memory of all we have lost to COVID-19 and in honor of the RTs and other healthcare providers who are battling it daily. Thank you. I'd also like to share that this pinning ceremony marks another momentous time for our program. It is the first pinning ceremony following the transition of our program after 20-plus years from an associate degree program to a Bachelor of Science entry program. To say these graduates are extra special to us would be an understatement, as this change is a mark of growth, not only for our program, but for the profession and a transition for our profession of respiratory therapy. To our guests, on behalf of the faculty and students, I'd like to offer our sincere thank you. Thank you to family and friends for the support you've given them in their time while they were completing their degree. For those of you at home, thank you. Your support means so much to us, and we celebrate you as well. If you've never been a part of a pinning ceremony, I would particularly like to extend to you a special welcome as you're about to participate in an event which truly marks a milestone in the lives of those who are honored with the invitation to be pinned. As much as graduation is an important event in the lives of our graduates, pinning is a special celebration for those preparing to enter the field of healthcare. Historians can actually trace the tradition back to the Crusades of the 12th century, when a group of knights tended to and cared for injured and suffering crusaders. When new monks were brought into the Knights' Order, they decided to continue helping the sick soldiers and held a ceremony where each monk was given a Maltese cross, which they wore on their arm. Spring forward to the 1860s, when Florence Nightingale was honored with the Red Cross of St. George for her selfless efforts to care for injured men in the Crimean War. She believed in acknowledging a job well done and presented a Medal of Excellence to the hardest working nursing graduates. In 1916, it became the standard in the U.S. to honor all nursing graduates with a pin during a special ceremony, and has since become a special ceremony for other allied healthcare givers and graduates. So, you see, a pinning ceremony for health science graduates at Middle Georgia State University has even more significance, as we are all, after all, knights. I hope each graduate who is pinned this evening will wear your pins with pride in knowing that you have accomplished something very special. And remember that you always will be a son and daughter of Middle Georgia State University, and that we are proud of you. At this time, I would like to invite Ms. Jasmine King forward to offer our invocation. Jasmine.
Good evening. Everyone, will you please bow your heads? Heavenly Father, we graciously come to you right now to say thank you. Thank you for allowing us to be able to gather here today to celebrate such a joyous occasion. Thank you to all the professors, clinical instructors, and the hospital staff who have helped dedicated and poured their knowledge into each of us and given us the necessary tools to be successful in our career. Sorry, y'all. Right now, we ask that you cover the class of 2021 as they embark on their new journey in an uncertain time, and continue to cover the class of 2020 as we continue to do the best in the workplace and what you have called us to do. I also ask that you take away all nervousness the class of 2021 is experiencing while they prepare to take their credentialing exams, and to help them walk out of their tests in victory. Please give us traveling grace and mercy as we depart. In Jesus' name I pray, amen.
Thank you, Jasmine. For those who might not realize it, our class of 2020 have been out there practicing and caring for patients this past year, and we're really very happy that we were able to bring them back here for our pinning ceremony this evening. At this time, it's my pleasure to introduce Dr. Tara Underwood, Dean for the School of Health and Natural Sciences, to give us a special address. Dr. Underwood.
Good evening, everyone. I wish I could say smile and I'd see your smiles, but due to the current events, I just want you to take this opportunity before I begin and pause. I want you to pause and realize, and I'm realizing this as I continue to get older, that you will not have this moment again. So enjoy the ceremony, enjoy being around your classmates, enjoy this opportunity and this celebratory event. So please just take in the moment to enjoy the pinning ceremony. As Ms. Miller mentioned, I'm Dr. Tara Underwood. I'm the Dean of the School of Health and Natural Sciences, in which our respiratory therapy program is housed. The School of Health and Natural Sciences also houses the Department of Nursing, the Department of Rehabilitation Science, and also the Department of Natural Sciences. Over the last year, due to my close to 30 years of public health service, and as a public health professional, I also served dual roles as a COVID-19 liaison for the university, and it was a charge of mine to keep all 5 of our campuses safe and establish a protocol for students and employees. So unfortunately, I was the one putting people in isolation and quarantine. That was not fun. So I'm here tonight to support you and to celebrate the phenomenal accomplishment that you have made. I'm also here to celebrate and to support the phenomenal faculty and the clinical instructors and the advisory board members that serve as a vital part of the respiratory therapy program. As I was sitting in the audience looking at the PowerPoint presentations, you guys have a lot of fun. And I need to make sure when things get back to normal and time permits that I enjoy some of that fun with you. I mean, you look like a family having a great time. And what a great way to do that, along with learning about a profession that I hope you all will grow to continue to love. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the respiratory therapy profession is projected to grow 19% between the years of 2019 and 2029 due to the growth in the middle age and elderly population, and also the increased new cases of asthma, emphysema, COPD, and pneumonia. Your role as a vital part of the healthcare team is essential. And I am sure by now, more than ever before, during this COVID-19 pandemic, the entire health profession realizes how important you are as future respiratory therapists. When you begin your journey of employment at a healthcare facility, keep in mind a few phrases that I have borrowed and found to be profoundly helpful. Number 1, strive to be the respiratory therapist that you would want to have as a patient. Should I say that again? Strive to be the respiratory therapist that you would want to have as a patient. No shortcuts, okay? Remember that your patient is someone's spouse, someone's father, someone's mother, sister, brother, or best friend. Treat them with the utmost respect and give them the undivided attention that you would want to have in a critical care situation. Should I repeat number 1 again? That should, just kind of get to your core. All right. Number 2, when you're a respiratory therapist, you know that every day you will touch a life and a life will touch yours. Keep that in mind. Number 3, behind every great doctor is an even greater respiratory therapist. Number 4, if you are a respiratory therapist, you should wear the title with pride. Not many people are capable of doing what you do, and even fewer are capable of doing it with the charisma and passion that you do it. And lastly, number 5, the character and the integrity of a respiratory therapist is just as important as the knowledge that he or she possesses. So always remember, your character and your integrity are vitally important, just as important as your knowledge. Well, graduates, your hard work and your perseverance has finally paid off. You're a part of the future leadership that we need. We need you to be that, and we need you to do it in excellence. Each day, remember, you have purposefully chosen a profession in which you provide a life-saving service to others. Take pride in your decision. Many of you are beginning a legacy for your family that will transform to many generations to come. So you will have children that look up to you, and they may not just be your children, they may be someone else's children that may ask you, what's it like to be a respiratory therapist? Tell me more, and you can be that influencer. Congratulations, be blessed, and I wish you the very best in your future endeavors. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Underwood. At this time, I would like to invite Mr. Jason Hunter, hopefully soon to be Dr. Hunter. All right. Forward. Jason serves as a clinical preceptor at Atrium Navicent Health here in Macon, and he's going to give us our keynote address. As I mentioned before, Jason was a clinical instructor for us for some time, and one of his specialty areas is neonatal and pediatrics. And so he's really been a blessing to our program. Jason?
Good evening, y'all. Dr. Underwood, I think it looks like I copied some of your points that you made there, so they'll get to hear some of those things again. But I wanted to start out with just a review of pulmonary function testing, if that's all right with y'all. Either that or cellular respiration, you know. I'm just kidding. So I would like to start out with a question, but it's kind of unique tonight because we have the 2020 class that's here that's already been out getting their hands dirty and doing stuff and come back. I think you probably have a unique perspective on this time tonight. But we're glad that you're here, and congratulations to 2020 and 2021. So the question I have is, what difference will you make? Some of you guys have already stepped out. You're working with patients. You're doing what you learned to do. Some are getting ready to jump out there and do it. So what difference will you make? There's great potential that I see in each one of you. You've worked hard in school and laid down a foundation of knowledge, experience, and perseverance. You've gone through the program. Here we are, tailoring it off to the end. You may have asked yourself many times, why did I have to work so hard and study so hard to get where I am? Well, it's so that you can make a difference. Someday you will meet that difficult patient who is cranky, and no matter what you do, nothing is right. Or you may find yourself taking care of a sweet old lady who is so grateful to have you come into their room just to talk with them every day. Or you may find yourself taking care of a 1-pound baby that was born premature and struggling to breathe, and you're there to help. There's great potential that lies within you to make a difference in the moment, in the situation, in the life of the patient, in the family member who is stressed out by the overwhelming feelings of what all's going on. You can make a difference in the coworker who's having a bad day. As you gain experience, build your confidence, your potential will only grow and expand. You will have more tricks up your sleeve, more influence in your suggestions, and more skill in your hands, and it is your responsibility to take this potential and make it grow. Let it spread to others in your actions, in your attitude, in your smile, and in the smallest details of your everyday life. You will have moments that will challenge you and even frustrate you. You will find yourself in situations that downright scare you. And that's okay. That's part of what we do. You'll have times where you feel that you've really done something great. You helped save a life. Or you may be the one who holds a person's hand as their life slips away. You also experience frustration as you see a patient deteriorating no matter what you have done to make their day better. You just can't seem to get things to turn around. You have chosen to take care of the human body. The human body can be very dynamic, especially when there's illness involved. It can almost change constantly right before your eyes, and you must be able to adjust to the needs of your patients as their needs change. So to talk about change, you have to be ready to flow and move and to change when things are changing around you. You've chosen to address the needs of the foundational pulmonary system, without which every cell in the body would be lacking the very oxygen it needs to survive. One thing that is certain is the fact that things related to your work environment will change. I've been 22 years since I was sitting where you are. And if one thing I can say over these 22 years as being a respiratory therapist, things have changed. Not so much with physiology, but with how we deliver care and what goes on around patient care. So get ready. Things are going to change. You guys have gone through your program in the midst of a pandemic, and it has proven to all of us that you are able to adapt and overcome when things change. So believe it or not, when you were asking yourself, why did I have to study so hard? Why did I have to work so hard to get here? Well, you were preparing for what was going to happen in real life. One day you're going to be the person who recognizes that there is a need for change. There's a need to change how you're doing things. There's a better way that's out there. And you're going to be the one who's going to step up and start that change. And this is going to require confidence, boldness, and persuasion. And as a student, you've survived the many challenges. You've adjusted to changes in your schedule, classes being rearranged, or things being postponed, or greater workload. It's been nice to see you guys handle it. You've pushed through. In patient care, things don't always go as planned. You will have to adjust your plan. You will have to change your approach and even review the things that you thought you knew. There's nothing wrong with that either. I challenge you, never stop pursuing new knowledge. Never quit striving to improve your hands-on skills. Never shy away from asking for advice from a more experienced coworker. The questions to ask yourself are, what kind of therapist do I want to be? How can I be someone who is a breath of fresh air wherever I go? How can I display compassion for my patients and their family members as I do my job? You're the only one who can answer those questions. Now I'd like to shift your mind for a moment to the professional side of things. Respiratory therapy is a profession. Are you ready to represent it? One of the most important things we can do to strengthen our profession is to help those students coming along behind us. Someday you will have that opportunity. You will have students that are shadowing with you or working with you. Pour yourself into them. Share your knowledge and skills and model what it looks like to be a great therapist. Motivate those who are joining in your profession. Have an appropriate sense of pride about being a respiratory care professional. What we do as part of the healthcare team is very important and it's very powerful. Now, as I've been the father of 6 children here for a while, I have 6 kids, I've gotten where I like to give advice. So I'm going to give you some advice. In every situation that you find yourself in, choose to do the right thing. Taking shortcuts can cost our patients. Choosing to do right thing will cost you. Often doing the right thing literally takes more time because there's an easier, quick shortcut that takes less time and less effort. Give your time and your effort to doing the right thing. Treat the patient as if you or your loved one were the one laying in that bed. This will be a test of your integrity, your judgment, and your compassion. I do believe that you will choose to do the right thing in those moments. Now I'd like to take just a minute to say that we all know that you didn't get where you are by yourselves. You guys have been supported by some great people, your family, your friends. And I'd just like to acknowledge everybody that's had a part in getting you guys where you are tonight. And if we could, let's just give a round of applause to all the instructors and everybody. All right, maybe if I talk, it'll shut up. So at the beginning tonight, I asked the question, what difference will you make? Now I want to change from a question to a statement. I think all of us here, we have seen in you guys just some great things, and we know that there's going to be a lot that you accomplish and do. So instead of asking the question, what difference will you make? I would like to say, what a difference you will make. Now go out and do it. You guys are ready. Thank y'all.
Thank you, Jason. The The profession of respiratory therapy is one in which those who wish to become a respiratory therapist prepare to become a specialist in cardiopulmonary care. Students enter a rigorous program of training which is strongly science-focused. It requires learners to think critically and respond quickly, and it prepares them to deliver the highest level of critical care to premature babies on up to the elderly. Please join me in a moment to view a short video, which our students made, by the way, that helps us see what respiratory therapy is all about. I love that video. We use it for our recruiting purposes, and it actually came in very handy because this year has proven to be a year in which the need for respiratory therapists has grown to be like no other before. If you understand that when RTs graduate, we generally begin caring for patients in the ICU immediately upon hire, which requires them to be well prepared and focused. All students prepare rigorous academic coursework, community service, clinical rotations, and simulation activities, and develop into being empathetic caregivers who can communicate easily in a multidisciplinary team. All achieve great things while in the program. However, some do so while also maintaining excellent grades. At this time, I would like to share about the Lambda Beta Society. Lambda Beta is the National Honor Society for Respiratory Care. It was founded in 1986 as a means to promote, recognize, and honor scholarship, scholarly achievement, service, and the character of students, graduates, and faculty members in the profession. Those offered membership must be among the top 25% of their class and excelled in the areas listed above. Membership allows them the note in their CV as well as to be eligible for several scholarships. This distinction is not easily achieved, and those who are offered membership have demonstrated excellence in the profession. It is now my pleasure to perform the induction of the 2020 Lambda Beta members. Please come forward when your name is called and remain standing until all have been awarded. Ms. Jasmine, will you come call the names for us?
What's up? Class of 2020, Mr. Matthew Crockett. Also from the class of 2020, Chelsea Poole, but she is on the front lines tonight, so we honor her in her absence. On to the class of 2021, Miss Jasmine Allen. You have a great name, by the way. Jasmine, you didn't even let him take a picture. You left so fast. Also from the class of 2021, Danielle Maroney. Congratulations, everyone.
The Lambda Beta recipients will also be able to wear their cords for graduation. Congratulations to our Lambda Beta members. Thank you for your diligence in pursuing your degree. Wear those cords with pride. It's now my pleasure to welcome Ms. Jasmine Brown and Ms. Nancy Geisey forward for some special awards and presentations.
Good evening and welcome class of 2020 and class of 2021 and friends and family. A few years ago, our Director of Clinical Education, Professor Jasmine Brown, identified a need to have respiratory therapist students gain advanced skills in caring for neonatal patients. Respiratory therapists care for patients of all ages. However, the skills needed to care for neonatal population are unique and not something every therapist develops fully. Identifying the demand for the skilled therapists in caring for neonatal patients, Professor Brown created the neonatal track. Our neonatal specialty track is a unique program that is not offered at most other respiratory therapy programs. But our unique program is open to any MGART student who wants to apply. The students who apply and are accepted spend extra time in our lab learning about special skills needed to care for our neonatal population. This time includes discussion on how to prepare for high-risk deliveries, how to stabilize neonatal patients, how to manage and care for unstable neonate patients, advance their skills and knowledge on special equipment used within the delivery room and the neonatal intensive care unit, and also practice hands-on with simulation mannequins. The past 2 years, we are glad to say we've added 2 nursing students into our program. Caring for patients is about team, and the addition of nursing students help develop an understanding of each professional skill. And most importantly, it develops communication across disciplines. It is not, however, just about advancing skills and knowledge they gain from the classroom. It's about developing comfort in caring for neonates. In addition to the extra time in the lab, the students accepted into our neonatal track will also complete extra clinical hours in addition to their regular externship hours. These hours are dedicated to working in the neonatal intensive care unit. It is a true additional commitment for these students, and we are very proud that some have begun their profession working directly in the neonatal ICU. Something that is rare, that is quite rare. As a mark of their hard work and dedication, each is receiving a certificate and a pair of baby feet to wear with pride. The students who complete the neonatal track for the class of 2020 she's not here as she is working the front lines, is Miss Jessica Brown. Miss Jasmine King. And Miss Kiana Lindsay, who also cannot be here as she is working the front lines for us. Congratulations. And for the class of 2021, we have Miss Courtney Dixon. Miss Jasmine Allen. And I told myself I was going to say this right tonight, Miss Michaela Walker. And finally, Mr. Jacob Watley. I personally want to thank each and every one of you for taking the time coming in on Tuesdays. I know it wasn't always easy. Congratulations to our graduates and also to those who graduated last year. We hope to see you continue to grow and become neonatal pediatric specialists one day. Yes, that means taking the NPS, everybody. Congratulations.
Just want to give a shout out to all the Jasmines in the house tonight. Just kidding. It's now my pleasure to make the following special presentations to some of our deserving students. As a student within the program, we have very high expectations and are always thankful to have students who not only meet our expectations but surpass them. The past few years, we are pleased to share that we have highly motivated class who has certainly achieved greatness. We would like to give special recognition to the following graduates. First, we would like to award Mr. Justin McNair, class of 2020, with a Certificate of Excellence in Leadership for his dedication and willingness to go above and beyond as the president for the RT-recognized student organization, MGRADE, Middle Georgia Respiratory Education Action Team, and his class. Justin led MGRADE to receive the 2020 Service Award for the university. Congratulations, Justin. Just a little bit about the MGRADE team. We do a lot of community service, and last year, for the year of 2020, we got the Community Service Award. Miss Nancy has it, Professor Geisy has it over here. It's very pretty. Look at how pretty it is. I just want to show you some of the things that the class of, share with you some of the things that the class of 2020 did to earn this award. They held a couple of health fairs on Macon and the Cochran campus. They did some, helped us with a simulation workshop. They have also set up for previews so that other students can figure out what RTs do, because not a lot of people know what they do. They had some fundraisers where they raised money for Cystic Fibrosis Foundation. Also developed 2 designs of T-shirts, which we like to sport every now and again to raise money for going to conferences and for the Immigrate. They assisted at asthma camp, had help with free lung screening at the Coliseum, helped Navicent with the Children's Hospital when it started up and going. They helped move and transition the stuff over there. Helped with the Lung Force Expo, which is hosted by the American Lung Association. Helped with the Halloween Expo, safety for the children at the Coliseum, help with Respiratory Care Week, and also help go to some schools to help with STEM night. So they were very busy. Our class of 2021, we were restricted because of COVID, but I'm sure we would have earned the award again. So congratulations. Also, Miss Chelsea Poole, who we said is not here tonight on the front lines, also received recognition for her work with Immigrate by the University Awards Ceremony for 2020. Chelsea served as the Immigrate Secretary and was always working behind the scenes to ensure that her class was successful. So we congratulate her in her absence. In our graduating class of 2021, Mr. Jacob Watley served as the president of Immigrate, represented the university in several marketing and recruitment campaigns, and was profiled in Finding Greatness, a feature article highlighting students who achieved. Jacob is receiving the 2021 Leadership Award for this class. Congratulations, Jacob. I would like to mention that all the presidents and officers are elected by their peers, not by us. Becoming a respiratory therapist is a challenging pursuit with many long hours and hard work, study, clinicals, community service, and more. It's always a pleasure to recognize the students who are tops in their respective classes, as it's important to reward their diligence and hard work. At this time, I would like to call forward Matthew Crockett from the class of 2020. Matthews graduated with his Bachelor of Science degree and quickly became a registered respiratory therapist, achieving the highest credentialing score we ever seen. Matthew has been awarded a Certificate of Academic Excellence for having the highest overall GPA for his class, and is also being recognized for receiving a perfect 4.0 in all of his respiratory coursework. You got an A in my class? Something which is very rare indeed. Congratulations, Matthew. I would now like to welcome Miss Danielle Maroney forward. Danielle earned the highest overall GPA for her class of 2021 and was honored by the university at a recent honors convocation. It always makes us proud to see our students achieve academically. Congratulations, Danielle. Give a hand clap for all of our special awards.
I'd just like to say one thing about Nancy and Jasmine. They have done a tremendous job in leading our recognized student organization, MGRATE, as faculty advisors, and we're very proud of all the work that our guys have done with that, and I thank them for their hard work. I will also like to say a couple of words, too. I know that the class of 2020, you can see the list of what all they did, and it was a tremendous amount of impact to our communities in many ways. But I do want to say something about the class of 2021, because they did something I've never seen done, and that means they were adaptable in a world gone crazy. with COVID, they, in mid-semester during mechanical ventilation class, they went remote at home. All of our mechanical ventilators were procured by GEMA to go care for patients, and so we no longer had the equipment needed to train them. We could not be face-to-face. Our faculty and this class of students continued working remotely, studying, adapting. Their curriculum was totally redone in order to accommodate that. And when they came back face-to-face in fall, they worked like no other students I've ever seen to catch up with their hands-on mechanical ventilation. And the bridge they have crossed in the past 6 months is enormous. And so for all of that time, I want to congratulate especially you for that additional hard work you did. I'm very proud of you. It's now my pleasure this evening to present the respiratory therapy graduates for pinning. That's why we're here, right? I'd like to invite Mr. Justin McNair to offer a message on behalf of the class of 2021. Justin's the class president. Justin?
Good evening. Can everybody hear me? All right. Chapter 1. No, So I would like to begin these remarks by thanking the faculty and staff, friends, families, guests, the class of 2021 for letting us be here today, and of course, my own class of 2020. It's been quite a year, hasn't it, guys? After the year that we had, I really don't know how to say how much I miss you guys and how much I miss being next to people. So, I actually have a quote here. Don't worry, guys, this shouldn't be too long, but I have a quote, and it's honestly a really good quote, and I kind of like to say it right now. So, it says, "If you live long enough, you'll make mistakes. But if you learn from them, you'll be a better person." And it's how you handle adversity, not how it affects you. The main thing is never quit, never quit, never quit. This was said by Bill Clinton in his 1994 campaign for president. And if I could ever say that there was a class that lived and breathed by these words, it would be my class of 2020. Although it doesn't seem right to just call them my class, because at this point we're family. Like, we've had many good times and we've had many bad times. And at the end of the day, we have each other, and there's nothing that could ever break this bond that we've had. Especially after long hours of studying in the classroom, stressing over the next big test, and the test right after that. And finally, getting into the field at the height of the COVID-19 pandemic. Each moment that we spent together gave us the tools to come out of school as the best RRTs that we could be and become the best RRTs we did. Not only because I'm looking through rose-tinted glasses, mind you. I'm getting my information from primary sources, meaning traveling RTs who have gone to each of your hospitals, and they have met you guys, and they have seen your amazing work out there. And they've come back to me and said, one thing that has always gotten me just mind blown. There is no way that these kids just came out of school. It's impossible. So, let me be clear. When I brag about the accomplishments and the skill level of my cohorts, I want you to know that it is not just from me being their friend, their family, their brother to many of them. It is from their actual fantastic skills. From Matt Hulk smashing the grading curve, to Chelsea preparing notes so detailed that they could be the next edition of our textbooks, to Brianna somehow surviving both ventilator exams and motherhood at the same time, To Kiana, keeping a smile on her face through all our sleepless nights. To Manye, our very own recipient of the K. Lovelace Raffield Memorial Respiratory Therapy Scholarship. That was a mouthful, oh my gosh. Showing that she is not just a lovely person, an amazingly warm individual, but also has the skills to back it up. For Jessica, for running us through our group study sessions and keeping us on task with a calendar that was literally marked for the entire 2 years. And of course, I cannot forget Jasmine, who moved mountains with us so that we may stand here today. So from the bottom of my heart, I thank you, class of 2020, for letting me be your president, your friend, your family member, and to many more years to come. Thank you.
Thank you, Justin. They really do become a family by the time it's over. I would like to thank our respiratory therapy faculty for all the time and effort you've given in preparing them. Graduates and alumni, we the faculty are proud of you and will always consider you a part of Middle Georgia State University's family, and we encourage you to continue to grow in the profession. Always remember to remain a member of your professional association, the AARC, right? And always strive to advance your career in any way possible. For the class of 2020, Ms. Jasmine Brown has the honor of pinning this evening. Will the graduates please come forward to be pinned when your name is called, and go to the risers to stand. Y'all can come, and when we call your name, if you'll come forward. I am going to call the name of those who were not able to be here this evening. Some of our 2020 graduates are out there caring for patients this evening, and we wish them all the very best, and I hope they and their family members can enjoy viewing this later. For the class of 2020, Jessica Brown. Jessica was not able to be here this evening. Matthew Crockett. Jasmine King. Kiana Lindsay. Kiana's not able to be here this evening. We will make sure they receive all of their pins. Justine McNair. Chelsea Poole was not able to be here with us this evening. Brianna Purnell. Manye Thomas. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the class of 2020. Congratulations. You may take off your mask for a second for a photo. Yes, let's see those smiles. Congratulations. You may now be seated. For the class of 2021, I would like to invite Jacob Watley, class president, forward to share a message on behalf of his class. Jacob?
Good evening, family and friends and students, preceptors, professors. How y'all doing tonight? I don't have a quote like Justin did, but all right. So I just want to start off by saying congratulations to all of my fellow classmates. We finally made it, y'all. I can go ahead and clap. I also want to congratulate the class of 2020. I'm proud of all of us. It was a long 2 years and a lot of stress and tears. I didn't mean for that to wrong. Coming in for the first day of orientation for the program, the professors made everyone get up and tell things about themselves to the class. And I remember thinking, these folks already making me uncomfortable. I'm not coming back tomorrow. But obviously I came back. But thinking back on it now, it made me appreciate our professors because on the first day, they made us get out of our comfort zones and they challenged us, and it didn't stop there. They challenged us in the classroom, in the lab, the Sin Lab, over Zoom. Our clinical preceptors even challenged us in the hospital. I remember during clinicals, our preceptors, especially Jason, would ask us questions that made us think so hard that it made us think that our brains were gonna fall out the back of our heads. But they were always challenging us because from day one, they were trying to build strong, confident, and knowledgeable respiratory therapists, and they were successful. And during that process, they were compassionate, they were patient, and they were understanding. So I want to give a big thank you and a round of applause to our professors. And I want to recognize them, Dr. Matson, Ms. Miller, Ms. Ghazi, and Ms. Brown. Thank you all for your work. Next, I want to give a big shout out to the class of 2021. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. There were so many times where we thought we weren't going to make it, for real. Especially when COVID hit and rearranged our whole summer semester. But we helped each other persevere from the first semester to the last. We had late night study calls, late study sessions in the library, venting to each other about whatever, crying to each other about whatever. Getting coffee before our clinical shift while complaining about going into clinicals. Matter of fact, some of y'all had to give me a ride to clinicals. But I appreciate that. We persevered during a pandemic that we had no time to prepare for. And I want you all to know that I'm so proud of you because this journey was not for the weak. And through all of this, we became a family. Finally, I want to thank the parents, the grandparents, the godparents, the aunts, the uncles, all the family, everybody in our families, because without you guys, we would not have made it, trust me. I especially want to thank God and my mom. If it wasn't for the blessings and my mom constantly pushing me and encouraging me, I wouldn't have even gone to college, and y'all wouldn't have had y'all class president, you know what I'm saying? But on a serious note, we're graduating with a bachelor's degree in respiratory therapy. We finally made it. Talk to him.
Thank you, Jacob. For the class of 2021, Dr. Charles Matson has the honor of penning. Will the graduates please come forward to be penned when your name is called, and then go to the risers to stand. Class of 2021, if you'll come forward. Ashley Apaya. Jasmine Allen. Hannah Coleman. Courtney Dixon. Danielle Maroney. John Quason. Michaela Walker. And last but not least, Jacob Watley. I present to you the class of 2021. Congratulations. Yeah, take your mask off for 1 second for photos. All right, congratulations. You may now be seated. When you get back to your seat, remain standing, and our class of 2020, if you will also stand. It's that all-important time when we do the oath of respiratory therapy. I will read the oath, and at the appropriate time, I want you to say, "I will," together. As a respiratory care practitioner, will you behave with integrity, support objectively, keep yourself mentally alert and physically strong, and foster trust in the profession, its allies, and its patients? Will you perform procedures within your scope of practice, shoulder more than your share when needed, divulge no protected knowledge, practice in a legally and ethically responsible manner, and remember that compassion and understanding are essential to patient care? Will you never doubt your determination, but respect your limitations, be mindful to ask for assistance, and continue to learn and grow in the profession, provide care without bias, and respect the rights and dignity of your patients? Will you remember, above all else, that your patient has entrusted his life in your hands, and your every decision will impact that life? Everyone, I now present to you the graduating respiratory therapy classes of 2020 and 2021 of Middle Georgia State University. Congratulations to you all. We're almost there, guys. One more important message. If you'll just have a seat, I would like to now invite Dr. Charles Matson forward for special closing remarks.
You know, something doesn't look right. I know what it is. Okay, put up your phones, get out a pen. We've got a quiz right now. Oh yeah, that's what I like to see, a little stress going on. You know, this is a hard time for me and the faculty. You don't realize it, but we've had you for 2 years. You were our students for 2 years, and you are no longer our students. You are now our colleagues. Congratulations. I would like to end this day like I begin most days when I start walking into the Jones building. Every morning, I pray that God watches over you and protects you and the patients that you care for. And I will continue to do that until the day probably I die. And so I would like to end with this. I just hope God blesses you and your practice, because you've come a long way, and we are very proud of each and every one of you. Go forth, lead, and show people the compassion that respiratory therapists have. Again, congratulations.
Thank you, Dr. Mattson. Everyone, it's certainly been our pleasure to have each of you join us this evening for this celebration, because it is a celebration, as well as those who are joining us from home. This program will be available for viewing. We've had it viewing live for those who could join us at home now, as well as it will be available on our website. On the back of your program, you can see where to reference it. I'd like to share a special thanks to those who made this evening possible, and at this time I'd especially like to recognize Mr. John Coder, our AV specialist extraordinaire. Thank you, John. Tremendous work behind the scenes to make this happen. His time and talents have been invaluable. Many congratulations to our graduates and best wishes. We wish everyone this here safe travels home. And as you exit this evening, please remain some social distancing. And also, when the graduates stand up, we're going to let them recess out. If everyone will please remain standing until the last graduate exits. Thank you for joining us this evening. All right, Matthew.